Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series, and it looks like we've got possibly Marvelous Energy versus Golgari Aggro. We'll go off the assumption that it's Marvelous Energy, and he currently has an Aether Theorist. He's played in a tune with Aether, he has 5 energy in the bank. Golgari attacked in with his Grim Flayer. You know, he was kind of hoping that he wouldn't block, but then again, if he is playing Marvelous Energy, Theorist has already done his work. So even if Golgari had a buff spell to go over the top, you know, it doesn't really matter at this point, because, you know, he spent 2 mana and got 3 energy. Okay, Minister of Inquiries. 1 drop, 1/2, gives you 2 energy, and then you can mill your opponent with energy. Blah. More importantly, he's a cheap chump blocker, and he gives you 2 energy. All for the price of 1 blue mana. Unfortunately, Grimflayer does not have Delirium yet. He's 1 card type short for this to become a 4/4. But you know, attack in again. Maybe something different will happen. Grapple with the past. Wow, that is a lot of land. But grapple gives him an instant in the graveyard, which buffs him up to 4/4, which lets him kill the Theorist, trample over for 1, and trigger the Flayer's ability. Man, that is a lot of land in his graveyard. Transgress the Mind. 4 cards to look at. Gets rid of Aetherworks Marvel. Leaves him with Vessel of Nascency, Evolving Wilds, Aether Hub. So, his hand isn't that great now. In fact, it's pretty bad. But then again, he's got 8 energy in the bank. All he really needs to do is find a little traction here. Kiora is pretty good here. And he goes for the -2, finds another Kiora, and 3 land. So, unfortunately, he has to dump the other Kiora and get a land. So, not exactly the best top 4 you could have hoped for in this situation. Now, Golgari is kind of sitting on just his 4/4 here, so he needs to expand some. You know, throw down another creature, or, you know, maybe some artifacts. He's got Delirium, so Ishkana would be really good here. He'd still need to play a land to be able to do it, but shouldn't be that hard. And at the moment, Kiora really isn't that big of a deal. Ooh, Mind Rack Demon. Okay. Dumps 4 more cards. Man, he's just hitting a lot of land, and that's actually not a bad thing at this point, because his top mana cost isn't very high. I mean, 5 mana for you know, I can't really think of anything that he would use that would be too much more than 5. So, all of this land out of his deck means that he's more likely to hit gas than mana at this point. Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot. Vessel of Nascency. Pops Kiora. Finds not a whole lot. But the good news for energy is the fact that he hasn't, you know, he hasn't bypassed his big bombs that he wants for Aetherworks Marvel, namely Emrakul. Now, he does have 6 types in his graveyard, so all he needs is 7 mana to be able to cast Emrakul. That's one of the great things about Emrakul is, it's great to be able to fire it off with Aetherworks Marvel so that it's free, but it does have that added benefit of being able to make itself cost less the longer the game goes. So, grapple with the past. Cultivator's Caravan attacks all in, no blocks. He takes the 8 damage. He was at 22, so, not that big a deal. Down to 14. Pops the Vessel of Nascency at the end of turn. Found Ulamog. Now, unfortunately, Ulamog he's just a set mana cost. You can't really do anything about that. And most likely at this point, he's not going to be able to get that much mana. Because Golgari is doing a very good job of aggroing. He's got a 4-4 trample and a 4-5 flying trample. It's going to be very hard for energy to stop this, unless he has a spell to play to get rid of him. And I'm not seeing a red element here. All I'm seeing is blue and green. If he had a red element, there would be burn spells that he could use. Harness Lightning would be amazing in this situation because of all the energy he has in the bank. It would be enough to kill any one of these creatures. Ishkana mans up the Cultivator's Caravan, attacks all in. He's going to chump block the 5-5 since it doesn't have trample. It's the most damage he can block. And he targets himself with the mill, which gives him 7 card types in his graveyard. And now he's down to 6, and this is really not good. 7 card types does bring Emrakul's cost down to 6, which he has, but he would have to have it and play it right now, and even if he did, I don't think that it would be enough. And he concedes. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was actually kind of hoping for a second game at least, but yeah, I think this goes to show a little bit of fault with the Simic energy, I guess is what he was running, because it looked like he didn't have any way of stopping or slowing down the aggro from Golgari. Whereas if you're running red, you have burn spells. Grim Flayer's only a 2/2 until you get Delirium. Harness Lightning at a situation like that is an amazing burn spell. It could kill any of the creatures that he had. And, maybe Galvanic Bombardment's in your deck. It stacks up and becomes better and better the more of them you play. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, it looks like this guy, he streamlined it down to 2 colors, which theoretically should make your deck faster, but unfortunately, it looks like he eliminated his answers for creatures in that quest for speed. So, unfortunately, he lost that game. I guess I have talked on for far too long, so I'm going to end it here. That was Simic Marvelous Energy versus Golgari Aggro. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I will see you in the next video.